people like me. You need people like me so you can point your f***ing fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news. Ow!
Okay, we'll start with this. Sky Nicolson took to her social media to announce her upcoming fight with Sarah Mahfoud, saying, April 6th, in Las Vegas, my dream of becoming world champion will finally become a reality. My team and I have worked tirelessly towards this moment. Capturing the prestigious green and gold WBC title will be the first major step towards becoming this division's undisputed champion. And the new.
It's a good fight.
It's a good acid test for Sky Nicolson, who's going to be in there with former IBF champion Sarah Mahfoud, who is a more experienced fighter, I'd say, than Sky, but not more talented.
A few years older.
Sarah's 34, whereas Sky is 28. Sarah's got a record of 14-1, where Sky's got a record of 9-0. Neither fighter is all that big a puncher. Neither fighter is really a knockout merchant per se.
Right.
Similar physical dimensions between the fighters. They're both long and limber fighters,
Yes.
wiry fighters that can make themselves moving targets.
They both can.
But Sky is younger and fresher with the kind of amateur background, amateur pedigree that Sarah Mahfoud doesn't have, though this ain't the amateurs. This is the pros. And in the pros, Sarah's got more pro experience than Sky. Sarah's been in there with Karen Carbajal, with Nina Menke, with Amanda Serrano.
She went the distance with Amanda Serrano. Amanda's the only fighter that ever beat her.
For some, that may have been the first and only time they've ever seen Sarah in a fight, because she fights primarily out of her native Denmark. She doesn't usually fight abroad, but she did opposite the ring Amanda Serrano in what was their unification match, and of course, Amanda won it. So if that was the first and only time you've seen Sarah, what you saw is that she was on her bike. She was on her bicycle most of that fight, on the move and on the run. She didn't want to engage Amanda Serrano in the pocket. She knew she wasn't strong enough to trade with her, so to survive, she just moved around. She spent the whole fight moving around. But that may not be the case with Sky Nicolson, because Sky's not the puncher that Amanda is, so that could make things interesting.
Sarah might take more chances.
Sarah doesn't normally spend that much time on the move. She doesn't normally spend that much time retreating. She's got a halfway decent right hand with some pop on it.
When she lets it go.
She'll be opposite the ring, a southpaw in Sky Nicolson. Sarah Mahfoud, she's an orthodox fighter. Sky Nicolson, she's a southpaw.
Outside fighter.
Since having lost that decision, that lopsided decision to Amanda Serrano, she didn't waste any time. She rebounded. She rebounded off the loss. She fought 3 times last year, last in action in October. Opposite the ring, Argentinian legend Marcela Acuña.
Context is key. Marcela's in her 40s, so there's only so much credit you can give Sarah for beating her, but it's still good that she kept busy, that she kept active should an opportunity like this one come around.
She won't be rusty. She won't have any ring rust to shake off. Opposite the ring, Sky Nicolson, who saw action something like 4 times. Four times last year. Last in action in November, opposite the ring, Lucy Wildheart. I liked how she looked in that Lucy Wildheart fight.
She was mean.
Forced a TKO stoppage late into the fight, into the 9th round. I have to say, she did a better job on Lucy Wildheart than Michaela Mayer did.
Then Estelle Mosley.
She did a better job banging up Lucy Wildheart than 2 naturally bigger, more experienced fighters than herself.
But I thought you said she's not a big puncher.
Most of the time she isn't. That's the only time she's ever knocked an opponent out. What that tells me is that they're working on it, that her power is coming along.
Trying to get her to transition from an amateur style to a pro style.
But like I said, 8 out of Sky Nicholson's 9 fights went to the cards. 8 out of the 9 went to a decision. So you can't call her a knockout merchant.
She's not a knockout merchant.
Will she knock out Sarah Mahfoud? I don't know. Sarah Mahfoud's never been knocked out, and she's been in there with Amanda Serrano. If nothing else, she has good survival instincts. But I do think she wins the fight. I do think, conservatively, Sky Nicholson on points is the way to go. Set to go down in April on the undercard of Diego Pacheco's next fight. in Las Vegas.
This guy's gonna win it.
Speed and accuracy. That's the ticket. That's what I think Sky Nicolson has on Sarah Mahfoud. I think she's a little bit faster on her feet with faster hands, and her form is a bit better.
Sharper.
Sky Nicolson on points is the way to go, and we'll talk more about the fight as the fight date approaches.
Hey guys, it's me, Ryan. I'm coming on here to explain what's going on. I'm not in possession of my phone. I can't get access to my Instagram. My cards are locked. And I'm just being real, I'm being real taken advantage. And I personally wanted just to send out a video to the people that love me and my fans and family that's concerned that I'm okay. I'm not dead. I believe in Jesus. All those are lies. And, they try to put me in jail. They're blocking my cards. I can't access my money. Nobody's hitting me back. I don't know what's going on, but just know I'm okay.
At this point, I'd be surprised if he makes it to the Devin Haney fight. At this point, I don't know if it's a mental health thing, a mental mouth, hentai, whatever it is.
Or if this is just him trying to find a way out of the Devin Haney fight.
Perhaps to have it moved to Las Vegas, because before Ryan Garcia started up with this erratic behavior we've been seeing the last few days, he said he would do what he could to have the fight moved from New York to Las Vegas.
Why would he want to do that?
Because there might be more money in it for them if they move it to Las Vegas. That might be what this is. He's just faking all this stuff so he has an excuse to pull out of the fight, have it rescheduled to a later date at a different location. Or could be that he's going through something.
Maybe.
Whatever it is, people are running out of patience. Former UFC champion Sean Strickland said, "God, I hate famous people. Bro, you're fucking rich. There are kids in salt mines, kids dying of cancer, begging for one more day on this earth, and you're having a mental breakdown on social media, you fucking pussy."
Peace.
Let's just operate on the assumption that Ryan is going through something, some kind of psychological something, you know?
There are some people that think Ryan's not necessarily all there, that he's not right in the head, he's got anxiety or something or other, I don't know.
I don't care.
Nope.
There are people in the world that don't have this luxury. The luxury to point a camera at themselves and complain, trying to cultivate sympathy in the process of doing so, whether their issues, quote-unquote issues, are legitimate or otherwise. This is a luxury in and of itself. There are parts of the world where you ain't got time to worry about that. You ain't got time to have a mental breakdown.
In keeping with this generation of whiners that like to throw themselves pity parties expecting everyone else to bring the soda and potato chips.
Assuming this isn't Ryan just looking for an excuse to pull out of the Devin Haney fight, assuming that Ryan is going through something, what is he really going through? You made vast sums of money, vast sums of cash last year. What, is the pressure getting to you?
Huh?
The pressure of being a boxer.
Huh?
Toughen up. As far as it pertains to mental toughness, unbeaten up-and-comer, Golden Boy Promotions fighter Arnold Barboza said, "Mental toughness is the foundation of every battle we face in life, not just boxing. It's about having the grit to push through the pain, the focus to block out distractions, and the belief in ourselves when doubt creeps in. Boxing is not just about physical strength, but resilience, and pressure
Comes with the territory.
Oddly enough, Ryan Garcia, in spite of his erratic behavior as of late, provided reassurance that, believe it or not, the fight is still on. See you in Brooklyn. 420, Barclays, tickets on sale.
Whatever.
Like I said, at this point, I'd be surprised if Ryan makes it to that fight. I'd be surprised if Arnold Barboza doesn't end up standing in his place after he withdraws from some mental health issue. I'd be surprised.
You don't believe him?
That he's going through something? No, not really. I think that this younger generation is fascinated with not only feeling sorry for themselves, but trying to have others feel sorry for them. As stated, they want to throw themselves these pity parties and have everybody bring the chips and soda. Whenever I see some Gen Zer point a selfie cam at their face while they're crying about something or other, I mean, you had time to open up your phone.
Come on.
That's if you actually believe that Ryan is having some kind of a breakdown. As stated, as far as I'm concerned, this could just as easily be him looking for an excuse to get out of the fight, pull out, and have it rescheduled to a later date where he can have it in Vegas, where he seems to want it.
This is too easy to exploit.
This epidemic of individuals that claim to be going through mental health issues of some kind. Are you on any medications? Are you seeing someone? A psychiatrist, maybe?
Don't you think that's personal?
Well, they're the ones sharing it with the world, posting about it and doing podcasts about it and talking about it. I just wonder that they're not talking to the wrong people. Look, it's hard to get a fix on what's going on here because I don't know if he's faking or not. The most that I can say is that he's not long for the sport of boxing in either scenario.
No.
On the premise that he's faking.
No.
Or he's not faking.
No.
I mean, if he's not faking and he's legitimately going through something, then he's too unstable. He can't deal with the rigors, the pressure to perform, to compete.
The discipline it takes to put in the work.
You got that level of anxiety to where you always have a problem. Well, that's an occupational hazard in the sport.
Comes with the job.
It's part of the job, that pressure that he can't seem to handle. If this is, in fact, a mental breakdown. If it's not a mental breakdown, then this is just him being a prima donna because he wants the fight moved to another location. Well, then he's too entitled. He's too self-entitled. He has a couple of Instagram followers and more of a profile than your average boxer at this stage in his career, but it's stifling his progress, his development.
His popularity doesn't match his ability.
Yeah, maybe he's got some talent, but hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I don't think Ryan works hard. I think that because Ryan is a lot more popular than your average boxer at this stage, having accomplished so little, it makes him self-entitled, and that has resulted in arrested development. He's not growing as a fighter. He's not getting better.
So it all means the same thing, doesn't it? That he's not long for the sport, whether it's because he doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to make it, or because he doesn't have the discipline.
It all means the same thing. He's not long for the sport of boxing. He's not going to have a long, successful boxing career like, say, Oscar De La Hoya or his newfound mentor, Floyd Mayweather.
He's more of a flash in the pan.
So it looks to me. You don't have to agree, but it's hard to get a fix on what's really going on here when he could be faking.
It's not outside the realm of possibility.
People do stuff like this for attention, and this is how boxers call in sick from work. They're going through some mental health issues. I never believed it when Fury said it. I really don't believe it when Ryan says it.
But if I'm wrong?
It means the same thing. This kid's not long for the sport of boxing. Any way you slice it. In men's heavyweight news, ahead of this weekend's big showdown between Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury said, "I think it's a great fight. When I was fighting Ngannou, it was a mismatch, but it is what it is. Ngannou was useless, but he proved everyone wrong, so fantastic for him. I put him on the map, made him a multi-millionaire, and now I'm making him even more money. So he needs to thank me. He needs to get on his knees and kiss my feet for what I've done for him."
He's not wrong.
You guys know I don't often agree with things that Tyson Fury says, but yeah, his fight with Francis is what opened the door for this weekend's fight, because before that, before Francis Ngannou even shared the ring with Tyson Fury, he approached Anthony Joshua first. I believe that was early last year. There was some talk of a Joshua versus Ngannou crossover fight, but the Joshua people, they weren't interested. They didn't want to do it. This guy, he never boxed before.
They didn't want to do it yet. I don't blame them.
There was no precedent to do it. It wasn't until Tyson Fury gave Ngannou a shot and people saw that Ngannou can handle himself in there.
No, Fury thinks Ngannou is indebted to him, but Tyson Fury, he's got his own problems. He's got Usyk to deal with.
Anthony Joshua, he was asked if he's looking ahead to a potential fight versus Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk after Francis Ngannou. "I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym and building on everything I've been doing. In an 11-month period, I fought 4 times. I feel like I'm starting to get strong again, get my timing, get my rhythm. I'm not too worried about Fury and Usyk. Who knows if they'll even get in the ring?"
Exactly.
It doesn't sound like Anthony Joshua is making the same mistake that Tyson Fury made, looking past Francis Ngannou, underestimating him. That's the difference between this fight and that fight, that Francis, he doesn't have the element of surprise anymore.
I think AJ beats him, possibly knocks him out, possibly stops him late.
If he does, he could see himself boxing Philippe Hrgovic for a newly vacated IBF title next, on the premise that Fury versus Usyk, the winner and the loser of the fight, they got a 2-way rematch clause. Whoever loses the fight, they can activate it, which would result in 2 fights.
And if there does end up being 2 fights, well, the IBF title's gonna go vacant.
Because the winner of the fight between Fury and Usyk will be preoccupied with the loser and unavailable to satisfy their IBF mandatory challenger, Felipe Hrgovic. It's the right set of circumstances for Anthony Joshua to perhaps see himself crowned a 3-time heavyweight champion. I'm not sure there's ever been one, at least not in the 4-belt era.
A 3-time heavyweight champion?
Thinking ahead, beyond the Ngannou fight this weekend and what could be a Felipe Hrgovic fight later on down the line, Anthony Joshua was asked about Tyson Fury. He said, if I put Fury on his ass, I wouldn't let him up. Me and Fury are completely different beasts. Genetically, strength, mindset. I was boxing Fury up in the amateurs when I used to come down Finchley. I've always been on a different trajectory to Fury. He's done well. Of course, he's done very well. But give me an opportunity to fight Fury, and I'll show you what I'm about.
You think he beats him?
I think Anthony Joshua's career, it's catching its second wind, where I think Tyson Fury's career is coming to an end. You know, Tyson Fury is some years older than Anthony Joshua. He doesn't really take care of himself or his body the same way that Anthony Joshua does. We all know he drinks. We all know he treats his nose.
That don't make for longevity. That catches up.
I think it's starting to catch up to Tyson Fury, the path that he's been on. A pointless Derek Chisora trilogy, a crossover fight with Francis Ngannou. It's clear that he wanted to be on easy street.
He got tripped up by a novice while he was there.
No, I don't think he has a passion for the sport. I don't think he really wants to fight Alexander Usyk. I think that he's backed into a corner.
He's just doing it for the money.
This undisputed title fight that he's about to have doesn't mean to him what it means to Usyk. And I think that all this time, he's just been dragging his feet and finding different ways to sabotage it.
Without surmising it all, without being too long-winded. That's what I think.
So now that his feet are being held to the fire, that if he pulls out of that fight, he'll be out $10 million.
He's gonna go through with it, and he's gonna lose.
When it was Anthony Joshua's time, when it was Anthony Joshua's turn to take on Alexander Usyk, you didn't get this dog and pony show. He fought him, not once, but twice. He went through with it.
Wasn't this long and drug-out affair the way it's been with Fury?
So, when we talk about Anthony Joshua, and we talk about Tyson Fury, that's the difference. That's the difference for me.
Yeah, one guy's a consummate professional and one isn't.
Will we get to see them fight? Well, like I said, I don't think Fury's going to beat Usyk. I think he's going to lose. If and when he does, he may not activate his rematch clause. He might take a little bit of time off, then come back and fight Anthony Joshua straight away, because it's a bigger fight.
Fury versus Joshua is a bigger fight, just bigger overall than Fury versus Usyk.
Bigger in terms of size and scale, profile, money-wise. It's a bigger fight. Even if Fury loses to Alexander Usyk in the summer,
You can still sell it.
Joshua's got 3 losses. He's got 3 losses. And he's still on the Forbes list. He's still one of the top earning boxers in the sport. So believe me when I tell you, if Fury loses to Usyk, that's not the end of the world. It doesn't have to be.
And you know those Brits, they do love a grudge match. Fury versus Joshua, it's not about a belt, it's not about belts, it's about bragging rights.
So even if Tyson Fury falters at the hands of Usyk like everybody else has, everybody before him, no, that doesn't have to be the end of his career. That doesn't have to be the end of him.
Wasn't the end of Anthony.
Bottom line, there's still a chance that fight happens.